Welcome back to the Get Well podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on another show today. I'm Dr. Kevin. My practice is here in Lafayette behind Women's and Children's Hospital. It's called Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic, and we do functional wellness and functional medicine. And that means that we offer drug-free, surgery-free solutions to today's very worst health problems, and it's important that we pay attention to it, Acadiana. You know, we only get one shot at our health. You can't trade it in on a new one. In fact, your health is actually the most valuable thing that you have, because without it, you can't make your house payment or car payment. You can't play with your grandkids or enjoy your hobbies. And so this show is all about how to get you down that pathway to lead the longest, healthiest life possible. And I've got a good one for you today. And I wanted to revisit the subject of low energy. I don't think in the 2 years since I've opened my practice, I've had one person say that they have plenty of energy. I don't think one, but 99% of them said they feel fatigue, low energy, or tired all the time. And many say that they can make it to work and make it to the couch, and that's about it. They have no energy for anything else. And Acadiana, that means that you're just basically existing. And life is so much more than that, Acadiana. Life is so much more than just to exist through your life. Now, I can't get into the discussion about energy without talking about what the energy center of the body is. The energy center of your body is your thyroid gland. Every cell in your body has a thyroid receptor on it that tells the cells to make energy. Your thyroid is also what turns food into energy. It makes energy in the body. Now, I know you guys have heard me talk a lot about the subject of energetic debt on almost every single show I've done. That's where your body is using energy faster than it's able to make it. Now, a major player in your level of energy and metabolism in the body is your thyroid gland. Now, we have two groups of people when it comes to thyroid problems. And I wanted to discuss these two groups of people so that we can move forward and see where you fall into this. Now, the first group of people knows that they don't feel like themselves anymore. Maybe they're blaming it on old age or allergies or the weather or something else silly. People blame their bad feelings on things outside of their body all the time. But this group of people don't really know that they have a thyroid problem, or especially a weak thyroid. They have no idea that their thyroid is not functioning as adequately as it should. They've never had it tested, and they just know that they don't feel good. They're tired all the time. They're gaining weight. They've lost some of that drive and ambition they've had before. Now, this group of people have never had their thyroid tested, and when we look at it, we prove that their thyroid is weak and partially responsible for how they feel. For some of them, have had their thyroid haphazardly tested and were told it was normal. So they don't still know that they have a thyroid problem. Maybe they did a standard blood panel where the doctor checks one or two markers and were told it was fine, and the patient goes on searching for why they feel bad for something other than their thyroid, but it was actually their thyroid all along, and they may have something called subclinical thyroid disorder, which means you fall into this normal standardized testing as normal, but your thyroid is still bad enough to make you feel bad. We see this very often. I feel like many people feel bad due to thyroid weakness, and they blame it on other things because no one has really took a deep look into their thyroid function, a real deep evaluation of what their thyroid is doing and is it at its peak performance. Now, group number 2 is being treated for a thyroid problem. They know they have a thyroid problem. They're taking medication for it, but they still don't feel good. And their doctor's going, your numbers are good, but they still don't feel right. The treatments they're doing for their thyroid is insufficient, and their body doesn't really feel that great, even though they think their numbers are normal. So they go for a checkup, and they're told, your numbers look great. And they go, well, doc, I still feel terrible. Oh, it's not your thyroid. Your thyroid looks great. You're just getting older now. It's normal for you to feel crappy. It is not normal for you to feel crappy. Something could be going on. Ladies and gentlemen, within the sound of my voice, if you remember one thing I ever say on this show, let it be this. It is not normal to start to feel crappy at 45 or 50 or 55 years old. We have so many people out there that have a fixable, treatable problem, but they went for a checkup and were told everything looks good. You're supposed to feel crappy. See you next year. And they think that's normal. Listen, Acadiana, life is too short for you to feel crappy and ran down and beat up and exhausted the last portion of your life. You know, we're only given a certain number of days, and we want you to use those days feeling good. Now, there's so much whenever it comes to the evaluation of your energy and your thyroid that's not being done, that there is hope for you. But when it comes to the evaluation of the thyroid gland, I want you to know that it's complicated and it's time consuming. And that's why this gets ignored and brushed under the rug in traditional medicine so often. There are 12 different steps that your body has to go through to end up with usable thyroid hormone. And it's imperative that you check the functioning of every single step along the way, or you may miss something. Most folks think your thyroid gland, well, it just pumps out thyroid hormone in one step and that's the end of the story. So we can check that one step and it's either good or bad. There are 12 steps that your thyroid has to go through. Think of this like an assembly line to build a car. One person puts the wheel on, one person puts the headlights on, and one person puts the doors on. So if every time a car rolls off the assembly line, the headlights are backwards, you know exactly where to go in the assembly line process to fix that step, to fix that problem. And that is the exact same way that we look at the thyroid gland in our thyroid program. We call our thyroid program Thyroid, Energy, and Weight Loss because those things all go together and it's hard to separate one without looking at the others. But we have to look at each of these 12 steps along the way. Our thyroid panel is 12 different markers so that we can check each stage in the production, including antibodies and signs of autoimmunity and so many other things. So usable thyroid hormone is called T3. That is the hormone that runs your metabolism, makes you feel good, gives you energy, and controls weight loss. But your thyroid gland actually makes a precursor called T4, which, by the way, T4 does absolutely nothing for your body. It is unusable to your system. It has to travel to your liver and stomach to be converted into T3, which is usable thyroid hormone. Now, guys, listen, most thyroid medication is not T3 usable thyroid hormone. Most of it is T4. So what that means is your body still has to convert that to usable thyroid hormone in order for you to feel your best. So if the assembly line is messed up after that conversion, then you don't end up with usable thyroid hormone no matter what your levels show on blood work. So let me say that another way. I could give you all the T4 in your body you could handle. But if your body is still not converting that to usable thyroid hormone, if you're not converting it over to T3, you still will not feel like you should feel, and all your numbers will look great. So this is a complicated conversation. It takes time to sit down with patients and figure all of this out. And the way our program works, for example, is we do a very thorough battery of tests. And we might say, well, step number 7 is the problem. What can we do at step number 7 to make that part of the body work better? And we might look at some research and go, well, XYZ can make step number 7 work better. Okay, well, let's do that to step number 7 and see what happens. And step number 7 starts to work better. So, okay, great, we fix that. And we see the body start to regulate. But then we might notice, well, hold on. Now step number 9 is not working very efficiently. It's working, but barely. Let's see if we can make step number 9 work more efficiently and its peak performance. So, folks, you can see how much time and complication that this involves. And if you really want to fix someone's thyroid, energy, and weight loss systems of the body, that's what you have to do. You have to dissect every little part of that energy system. You can't glance at 1 or 2 markers and spend 5 minutes with you to figure out all of these details. And that's why the 3 or 4 minute office visit doesn't work. I, in fact, have 3 or 4 hours of processing and evaluation with each patient's energy center before I sit down and give them my recommendations on what a treatment plan would look like. So this is a complex conversation. Over 90% of my patients tell me that they have experienced fatigue, low energy, weight gain, or thyroid problems at some point. Some research shows that up to half of all Americans aren't producing adequate thyroid hormone. That's 50%. Thyroid cancer rates have dramatically increased over the last 30 years. 30 years ago, we rarely heard of anyone that has thyroid malfunction. Now we meet so many people that their thyroid is failing. But the thyroid is one of the most overlooked areas at how healthy you feel on a day-to-day basis. Symptoms such as fatigue, weight gain, cold hands and feet, brittle nails and hair, and even thinning of the hair and hair loss. Even brain fog, anxiety, depression, and loss of libido can all be signs of inadequate thyroid function. And remember, 50% of you may have this. So most people don't realize that there are natural things that you can do to support a healthy thyroid. People don't realize that they have options beyond taking a pill to pump up one number and calling it good. There are natural things you can do at every step along this assembly line process to help your body end up with healthy, adequate thyroid hormone. I like to describe the thyroid as the accelerator pedal on your car. Your thyroid is the gas pedal. It speeds you up and it slows you down. It speeds up your metabolism. It converts food into energy. So imagine if I went into your car and I removed your accelerator pedal. Your car still starts. You can put it in drive and you can idle around the road, barely limping to work and back, but you can't accelerate. Like you could still get there, but it's going to take you longer and you're going to feel really bad while you're doing it. You start your car, you put it in reverse, you idle out into the driveway. Then you put it in drive and you idle down the road, barely limping by. That's what your thyroid, or especially hypothyroid, is. Hypothyroid means your thyroid is underactive. So it's like you have no accelerator pedal in your car at all. Hyperthyroid, meaning your thyroid is overactive, is like your accelerator in your car is stuck all the way to the floor. And that's not really good either. You're going to burn through things really quickly. But all of this is reliant on this assembly line process that your thyroid goes through for you to end up with adequate, healthy thyroid levels. And let me stop for just a second and talk about autoimmunity, because this is also overlooked. Autoimmune disease is skyrocketing in America. Autoimmune means your immune system is attacking your own body. And if your immune system is attacking your thyroid gland, that's called Hashimoto's disease or Graves' disease. Now, I want you guys to imagine a scenario where my immune system, normally designed to kill colds, is beating up my thyroid gland, causing it to be underactive. And my solution is to take more thyroid hormone, to take thyroid medication. But your thyroid is not the problem. It's the victim. My thyroid is being beat up by my immune system. So just throwing more thyroid hormone into the mix is like throwing gasoline on the fire. It's not helping it. It's just fueling it. So not only do we have to look at this whole assembly line process, but we also have to look at the immune factors and the hormone levels. We have to know the immune system and if it's beating up the thyroid and attacking the thyroid. And if it is, we're not even on the right system if we're looking at the thyroid. So I talk to patients every week that have been treated for thyroid problems for years, and we actually find out that their immune system is beating up their thyroid, and no one has even looked at that system. The doctor never even checked. It was just low thyroid, take Synthroid, and that's all they got. Now, I don't want you to be stuck in limbo, not knowing what to do any longer. I don't want you to live one more day less than you could be because no one has sat down and figured out why this is happening to you. So the best way I can help the most people, and what I've decided to do, is I'm going to be giving away 10 free 30-minute phone consultations with me. We can use the telephone, we can use Zoom, we could even just use email if that makes you more comfortable. But I'm giving away 10 free phone consultations about my energy restoration program, and I can only do 10 of these. So if you want a call and set up a phone consultation with me, all you need to do is call my office at 983-CARE. That's 983-CARE, and schedule your free 30-minute phone consultation with me designed to see if my methods might be able to help you using a program like my thyroid energy and weight loss program. That number was 983-CARE. And again, my name is Dr. Kevin with Dr. Kevin's Wellness Clinic. Thank you for listening. Love you, Acadiana.